Andrew Miller joined us a few months ago. He has a fabulous business, Business Enjoyment, and he has a very gentle way of being, but a wisdom that reaches out to people and takes them where they are and helps them. So he wants to talk about reducing stress by changing your perception. So I'd like to have a little round of applause. Welcome to Andrew. I'm going to stop my share here and he can take this show on the road. Let's get on to the speaker view. Over to you, Andrew.
Thank you very much, Jill. Good afternoon to everybody. Andrew Miller and Business Enjoyment is my brand. I've got a personal mission, and my personal mission is to change the way that business success is measured. Because at the moment, it's all about how much money we make, and that leads us into traps, and I want to find a different way. And I've got a business purpose as well. The purpose of Business Enjoyment is to provide everything that an entrepreneur needs in terms of business and personal development in order to be successful, but to enjoy the journey at the same time. And neither of those things can I do by myself, and that's why I'm part of Collaboration Global, because it's something I'm going to need everybody else's help with. For the talk today, what I want to do is quickly run through a bit about me, where I come from. I want to get you guys thinking about some things, and I want to get you working on a few things as well. And that thing I want you to work on is to think about a stressful situation that you might be experiencing. We'll try and see what we can do to reduce some of that. So start thinking about now, making a note, a stressful situation that you might be facing now, you may have faced recently, or something that crops up quite frequently. If you are the epitome of Zen and have no stresses, then congratulations. But do think back to a time when you hadn't reached enlightenment, and then maybe we can find something to model and you can use for yourself or with others. For those that have heard the podcast that I ran with Jill a few weeks ago, you may have heard some of this, but this is bringing everybody else up to speed. So really quick update on me. My background, my corporate background is I used to be an accountant. Hooray, always great to get people coming to you at parties, break the ice. Even better than that, I used to be an insolvency practitioner. I am the grim reaper of businesses. When companies went bust, my job was to go in, take control, trade that business, and mostly sell that business on and keep it alive. It meant I used to work for one of the large global firms, KPMG. But it basically meant that I spent about 17 years running businesses. That was my main thing. And I got to the point where I realized that I didn't want to be there anymore through leadership and the other courses. I got into personal development, moved into coaching. And when I left and moved into the coaching space, I had a very specific niche, and that was helping business owners that were going through failure, business collapse, help them deal with the emotional stress that goes with that. And that led me much more into the sort of deeper psychological element. So I had all this business experience of running businesses over years, and now it's really getting to understand the individual. And what I noticed over time is that obviously these people who'd lost everything, were in a difficult situation, were clearly not enjoying life. But I met all these other people who were entrepreneurs, business owners that were doing all right, doing really well in some cases. And they were getting stressed out and not, they loved the thing that they did, but not fully enjoying what they were doing. In fact, I'd met millionaires that were being treated for stress, anxiety, depression, all these sort of things. And it's like, well, what's your excuse? And that's where the concept of business enjoyment came from. It's like, yes, it's all very well being successful and making the money, but that's not the main, well, that is the main measure of business, but it shouldn't be. If we're not enjoying what we do, and I mean fully enjoying, then there's something going wrong. And one of the traps some people think about when I talk about business enjoyment is that they need to be in a bad place to do something about it. That, oh, well, I'm enjoying life. It's all right. It's okay. So it's not just about eliminating the negatives. It's also about accentuating the positives. And so if I was asked you to mark yourself out of 10 as to where you were right now, how much you enjoy your business, there's a lot of people that say 7 out of 10. Yeah, it's all right. That's fine. My question is, how do we get to 8, 9, and 10? Let's move that up. So let's accentuate the positive as much as anything. So my catchphrase is I want you to enjoy your business so much it makes your bits tingle. That's what we should be about. So there's different elements, as I say, accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative, as the song goes. For our talk today, for what we're going to do today, I want to do a little bit of eliminating on the negatives and get you thinking about some stuff. And to do that, what I'm going to do, I'm going to set a little challenge for everybody to get you thinking about a few things. I've got a little contest going on. I'm going to set you a maths problem. Ooh, we've got some quivering going on. I want you to get into the chat box, open the chat. You're going to send a message to me with an answer. I'm going to set you a question. And be ready with your numbers, and there's going to be a prize for whoever gets the message through to me first. So everybody ready, get your chat open, get ready with your numbers, and I want you to send a message to me and tell me, what is 1 + 1? Oh, rattling in. We've got some great people. Who's first? Who's first? Who's first? Drum, 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 drum roll. Gosh, I can't find it. Donna McCallum was first in. Congratulations, Donna. Hooray. Let me see if I can find you. Donna, can you take yourself off mute and have a quick, where are you?
Quick.
I can't see you right now, but I'll.
Here I am. Have you got me?
Well, anyway, I'll speak to you. Hello, Donna. Congratulations. Yes, I see you now. You have won the fantastic prize of getting to speak to me for a bit longer.
Yay! Woohoo!
Okay. Donna, 1 + 1 = 2. Thank you. How do you know? How do you know 1 + 1 = 2?
Because I learned it at school when I was little, and I did enough repetition to go 1 + 1, and 1 + 2 is 3, and over and over and over again to know.
We learnt it. We were told it. Have you ever been taught anything at school that's been turned out to be wrong?
Yeah, most things actually.
So how do we know? And again, it's one of those things like 1 + 1 = 2. It just is. So that's it. You're done, by the way. You can relax now, Donna. That's
Thanks.
it. Brilliant. For me. So this is one of the things that we get told, and it's accepted, and it's very hard to actually know for a fact that 1 + 1 = 2. I've got a mathematical background. We have to come up with various proofs of various things, and these are the sort of things that are really difficult and challenging to actually know that it's true. It's easy to, in these sort of situations, to find an opposite and disprove it. It's like that snowflake thing. No two snowflakes are the same. How do you know that? If you find two snowflakes that are the same, you can disprove it. But to actually prove it is very hard. So how do we prove that 1 + 1 = 2? Well, as I say, it could be simple if we could find some alternatives, but I can't find an alternative to 1 + 1 = 2, can I? Or can I? So let me ask you a question. If I was to take 1 and add 1, what do I get? It's 11. If there's anybody working in computers that's familiar with binary, they'll know that 1 + 1 = 10. If I take a drop of water and add another drop of water, what I'm left with is a drop of water. 1 + 1 = 1. If I take one man, one woman, and we wait for a period of time, we might get 3 or 4. If anybody into sound waves, you can have a sound wave that sort of runs like this, and if you get the timing right, they'll cancel each other out. 1 + 1 = 0. I can actually show you a method how 1 + 1 = -1. It's all sorts of. The point is 1 + 1 can equal absolutely anything. And what's happened here is that we've made an assumption, a very reasonable and sensible assumption that I would make every single time. And that is that we are talking about normal mathematics rules. We're talking about normal integers. We're not using normal plus or minuses. But that's a context. And in every mathematical formula, you have to define the context to say what the proof is that you're running. But if we change the context, we get a different answer. Now, when I tell people this, I can get different reactions. I get the reaction where people go, no, aren't paying attention, just go, yeah, well, whatever. You can get the reaction where people go, wow, that's amazing. I'm going to go home and tell my kid that and make him think about it and expand about it. And we get other people that just go, you're cheating. That's not really counting. Of course, 1 + 1 = 2. You're not going to change my mind. If you're thinking that, I invite you just to open your mind up and just explore, because what I'm saying here is that it can be challenged. I'm not saying that 1 + 1 doesn't equal 2. It's an answer, but it's not the answer. And when we're moving to the concept of beliefs and thoughts, if we can challenge something as absolutely basic as 1 + 1 = 2, what else can we challenge? In fact, I put it to you that there are no truths. There are only contexts. When you play from that space, you have the ability to challenge pretty much anything you want. Now, as I say, we go through life, we have to make assumptions just to get through life because it's just too much information. But about 90% of everything we think, 90% of what we see is actually an assumption. And when it's working for us, it's absolutely fine. It's only when we have a challenge that we should stop, take a moment, and an issue where we need to sort of explore that and challenge those assumptions and look at them differently. So let's look at that now. Let's see if we can apply that in a real situation. So I want you to think about your stressful situation that you might have going on or have experienced. I'm going to model a situation, and I'll show how we can use this to unhook things. So the context I'm going to run with is a concept of overwhelm. Working till 10 o'clock at night, stressed out, doing too much work, something that might be familiar. Don't have to use it, but I'm just use this as a model. So let's use that as an example. And let's think about stress as a word, as a scientific concept. When we think about actual stress as a scientific concept, it's a mechanical term for, like, when you've got a rope or a chain pulling, it is under stress. It's a scientific definition. And what it means is there are forces in different directions pulling on one thing. So a rope is under stress. And it's the same with emotions. We have different forces pulling us in different directions. So it's worth, first of all, thinking whenever we're in a stressful situation, noting it, and then starting to think, what are the forces that are pulling us? So with my example, I'm in overwhelm, obviously I've got some sort of force in the work direction, but there must be another force somewhere, which is probably going to be life-based. It's going to be a work-life kind of thing. I want to be with the family, whatever. But note that working at 10 o'clock at night is not in itself a stressful situation. Some people are absolutely fine with that. It's only when we have the context we need to understand. So with your thing, think about what the forces are that are pulling you. I want to be doing this, but there's something over here as well. There's going to be something that's opposite. Now, in effect, we've kind of got enough information here because we know we can challenge anything. We're going to break it down a little bit more. And I want you to write down some sentences that apply in each direction. So for my situation, it would be, I must get this client proposal in tonight, but I should be with the family. Breaking it down to a bit more detail. And what you'll notice is, as you write these sort of sentences down in these spaces, these are the words that keep cropping up. Should, must do, have to, need to. Not always, there's going to be some exceptions, but on the broad, on the whole, that's going to be what it is. And that's great because now we can do something about them. We can really challenge these. So let me explain about that. So any sentence with the word should in it is a hankering for a fictitious life that does not exist. We should live in a world where everyone's nice to each other. We should live in a world where everyone wears masks. We should live in a world where I'm actually spending some time with my family. That's not reality. It's artificial, and we're hankering after something that doesn't exist. So get into the real situation. That's not what the situation. That's not what's happening. We can lead to the further question is, what are you going to do about it? I should be with my family. What am I going to do about it? World should be peaceful. What am I going to do about it? Now we're into the sense of what's in our control and what's outside of our control. If it's outside of control, let it go. If it's inside of control, guess what we've got now? We've got a choice. Now they've got a choice. We can either let things go, keep things up, change priorities. But choice gives us more options. So let's see what we've got on the other side and see what's going on there, and see if we can get some more choices to run between. So any sentence that is need to, must to, have to. So let me do that. It's really clear. There is nothing you need to do. There is nothing you must do. There is nothing you have to do. If you find yourself saying a statement, what is happening is you are cutting off the context. You're finishing a sentence before you actually get to the reality, because hidden beneath every need, must, have to is a choice, is an option. I need to get this client proposal in order to get a job, get that work, get some money in, whatever it might be, work with this particular client. You need to, every time you get that, need to extend the sentence until you find out what is the actual choice lying to you beneath it. And you can continue challenging it. You might find that actually, I don't want the work, I don't want the job, I don't want to work hard. But what you're doing is you're breaking down certainties into choices. And you know you can do this every single time because you can challenge anything. There are no truths or any contests. It's something as simple as 1 + 1 = 2 can be challenged. You can challenge this. So it might be you get to the point where you go, do you know what? I don't need to get this done tonight. I can get it done tomorrow. It wasn't as fixed as I thought. I am going to spend some time with my family. Or you might go, actually, no, it is important that I do this, but I'm going to use that now as a way to feel better. I'm going to talk to my family and say, yeah, it is worth me doing this. It'll benefit as a whole as a family, but I tell you what, family is really important. Let's go and have a night out on Friday, weekend on Saturday or something, whatever. It helps with the conversation. So it doesn't change the outcome, but it changes our attitude to it. And this is what it's all about. When we're in a fixed, locked, solid situation where we cannot move, then we are going to be uncomfortable. If we can convert it into something where we've got choice, then we are taking control, and then we are feeling better. So whatever situation, whenever you're feeling stressful, note the stress. Do you want to change the stress? Work out what the forces are, break it down into what the sentences are underlying it, find those assumptions, challenge them, and now you're moving to a position of choice, take control, and prioritize them to choose what you want to do. Not a panacea, very quick run through. I'm going to hand back to Jill so that she can take it on from here. If anybody has had any thoughts about something that's happened to them, I'd love to hear it. Stick it in the chat and say, oh yeah, I don't need to do that now. I feel much better, or I want to do it. I choose to do it. This is something I'm okay with doing. And it just puts you in a better space. So yes, by all means, stick it in the chat. Let me know in the conversation during the meeting. Otherwise, I'll leave that with you. And thank you very much for listening. Thank you.